You cannot control the outer world. You cannot control what is going to happen to your life or what is going to happen to you or how people will behave with you or react to various things.
Hello, and welcome to Ukiyoto Author Podcast series, From Pages to Podium, where every author stories finds its true voice. I'm your host, Shankhalita Roy, and today we are joined by a man who has spent decades navigating the boardrooms, monitoring leaders, and observing the complexities of human behavior, only to transform those experiences into stories that resonate deeply with readers. Yogesh Srivastava is an acclaimed author, coach, and mentor, and corporate leader with over 3 decades of experience. But what makes his work truly fascinating is his ability to turn life's toughest questions into compelling narratives. Rather than telling readers what to think, he invites them into the mind of his characters, encouraging them to reflect, question, and discover their own truths. His acclaimed novel, The Resilience of the Unbreakable Spirit, explores the fragile balance between ambition, family, mental health, and the human capacity to endure even the darkest moments. Through the journey of his protagonist, the book asks a powerful question. What keeps us going when life seems determined to break us? Today, we explore the ideas behind resilience, leadership, storytelling, and the experiences that shape one of the most thought provoking voices in contemporary self development literature. Yogesh, welcome to the podcast. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, Shankar. Same here.
Yeah, so it's truly an honor to have you here. So let's begin with the first question.
Yeah, sure.
So, you have spent more than 3 decades in the corporate world before turning to writing. How did your experience as a leader, coach, mentor shape the story of Rohan, the protagonist, and his journey in resilience of the unbreakable spirit?
So, as a leader, you get opportunities to observe people, understand their stories, their pains and their points, their expectations, their aspirations. And if you reflect on all those, whatever you have heard, whatever you felt when you deal with the teams, uh, you have better understanding of human emotions, aspirations, and expectations. So that has actually helped me in, writing this book. And because this is based on some true story, so therefore it resonates well with the audience. And before writing this book, in fact, before I embarked upon the journey of the corporate world, uh, I used to write. I used to write as a student for newspapers. But once you join, the corporate world, the asking is different, the pressures are different, and therefore I could hardly get time to live my passion of writing. So once I hang my boots, I thought, okay, this is the right time, and this is the right time also for me to share my insights, my experiences, and talk about the human experience.
Oh, wow, because this is something like you have reached a state where you can actually share your experiences with the world and help them in the process.
Yeah,
So,
certainly.
yeah. So one of the powerful themes in the book is resilience. So in your work, in your view, what truly makes a person resilient, not in theory, but in the reality of everyday life?
Yeah. So resilience is what? Resilience is not, being a hero, being a macho, and saying that I am the bravest person, I have all the courage. That's not resilience. Resilience is something because you cannot control the outer world. You cannot control what is going to happen to your life or what is going to happen to you or how people will behave with you or react to various things. So then, what do you do? I
Yeah.
mean, either you show it to the world that you are the bravest person, as you are very courageous, or you take it in the right stride and live by what is happening and overcome all that.
Yeah.
So Resilience, in my opinion, is living by whatever comes to you and overcoming it in a natural process without, creating a lot of noise and without showing it off. So just move, keep on moving, have hope, have faith, and move on to the next level.
Okay, it's more like, changing yourself instead of trying to change the outside world.
Yes, change is a constant, which is always there. But even if you don't change, yes, parts need to be changed. But even if you don't change, you need to sail through. All right. So, how do you sail through? So, if you have faith and hope, and if you know your purpose well, and do not bother or get bogged down by smaller things, then probably that makes you resilient. So, resilience is very closely linked to the hope and the faith. If you have hope and faith, you can sail through any situation. So, you take life as it comes to you and just move on.
Okay, that's a really good one. So I wanted to know that your stories don't preach and provide easy answers at all. So instead, they invite readers to reflect and draw their own conclusions. So why is this philosophy so important to your writing?
Yeah, so because every human being is unique, you all of us have different perspectives. We have different upbringing. We come from different backgrounds. We have our own philosophy of life. So preaching doesn't help. If preaching would have been helping, then probably everybody would have been a good human being in this world, because a lot of here is already there in the scriptures. It's already there. You just read it, or whatever, sermons you read from the saints or from the spiritual gurus or the leaders. You just follow it. It doesn't. It actually doesn't happen in real life situations. But then people do relate to something which relates to their sense of understanding. So if I have a philosophy of life, and instead of somebody telling me, okay, you should do this and do that, if somebody presents a situation where I resonate with that particular situation, then I draw my own conclusions, and that is effective, and that also helps people in making the changes,
Yeah,
and that or those changes are actually permanent in nature, because that then you get the realization it is deep inside you. Something is actually, you question yourself instead of just glossing through the book or the whatever content is there.
yeah,
So I firmly believe that preaching and gyan doesn't help people. There is a lot of gyan on social media. You go to YouTube, you have all topics covered there.
yeah.
But once you read a book, once you uh, face a situation wherein you are forced to think about, if you were in that situation, what would you have you done? And God forbid, good or bad, if that situation happens, how would you react? So that opens many vistas.
It is actually very true. Like we listen to only what we want, not what people tell us actually. So once we realize that this is right for us, we just move ahead with it.
And that also, so what happens, listening has become kind of entertainment. You listen
Yeah,
and then you forget.
yeah,
But where you reflect, something which touches your heart,
yeah.
something wherein you find that, okay, this is something which has got some value for me, which stirs your soul. That is, if you go back to your own life, you'll find what were your life changing moments.
Yeah,
Something happened which made you think a lot, reflect a lot. Not
yeah,
somebody telling you, but you on your own took that decision. So
yeah.
once you initiate that, it becomes permanent, and it actually adds value to your life.
That's great actually. So the novel explores corporate pressures, family responsibilities, and mental health struggles. Was there a particular message or insight you hope readers would take away from Roshan's story?
Yeah, so the message is that the human experience is unique. Your corporate life is there to pay for your bills and to give you a satisfaction, kind of satisfying your ego that, yes, You validate yourself, your existence, your success, so-called success. Uh, However, what matters actually in human experience is the relationships within your family and outside your family, the kind of impact you make with the people whose life you touch upon or who depend on you or who touch your life. So this is the ultimate, the message of the entire thing is human experience is that it's not the money, it's not the designation, it's not what you get in your journey. It's all only for validation and paying bills. But human experience is something beyond all this. So this is the message in this story, and there are various situations wherein the protagonist, reflects and, in a sense, forces the readers also to reflect on their own life and see where they are going, whether they are running only after the designations, they are running only after the money, they are running only after the success, so-called the success,
Yeah.
which we perceive. What is the correct perception of this word success? So all these things are there in this book. Yeah. So this is the philosophy, and this is the gist of the entire story.
Wow, that's great. So, beyond writing, you are also a poet, wildlife photographer, collector of antiques, mentor, and coach. How have this diverse interests influenced your creativity and your understanding of people?
So, Sankalika, that's a very good question. In fact, as I was mentioning about the human experience, so human experience you cannot have in black and white. It's a rainbow of colors. It's a
Yeah,
huge spectrum where you don't have even seven colors. You have various shades of those colors also. So it's
yeah,
a huge spectrum of. So your life
yes,
is a huge spectrum. I will not say that everybody should have that wide an spectrum or that wide a canvas, but to the extent possible, whatever appeals to you, you should try to explore that. That
yeah,
is real human life. Because food and shelter, all the animals also crave for and they arrange for as long as they are alive. Or to keep themselves alive or to survive, food and shelter and of course, animals do not have the clothing, otherwise, the clothing would have been the next thing. So, for humans, food, shelter, and clothing is okay. But beyond that, the human experience actually starts beyond that. Once you have understanding of the art, culture, Mm, and various treasures which we have, passed down from generations to generation as a human race. I'm not talking about a particular state or particular community or a particular nation, but as human beings, as a race. So when you explore those vistas, when you see, you know, when you take interest in all those things. So as a wildlife photographer, you observe, birds, you observe animals, you observe
yes,
uh, plants. Then it gives you a different dimension. It increases your level of understanding. Your world view gets changed. If you take interest in art and culture, then you understand various perspectives about an artist's thinking and how beautiful this world is, and how something which looks like nothing can be created as a very very symbolic and very very meaningful substance or the object. When you collect coins or collectibles, you become the part of that history.
yes,
So just now I was mentioning about you that one of the books which I'm doing right now, I'm doing research on it, but I'll be shortly writing it also on Awadh. So I'm fond of collecting, coins, numismatics, and whatever you call it, and notes, philately, and all. So once you collect it, you become part of that history. So, and
yes,
then it increases your inquisitiveness about those days, those times, those periods. And then if you reflect a little more, your understanding about the human beings, about the human experiences your horizon broadens, so to say. So therefore, it's quite interesting. I always encourage people to whom I get an opportunity to speak to. that you should try and explore the human experience. Don't just confine yourself to your work, your job. That is important. That is very, very important, because unless you have a reasonable amount of surplus money to spend on all these things, you will not be able to enjoy all these things also. But then this is not the be all and all of life. So life is beyond your paying bills, beyond your job, beyond your work, beyond your mm, you know. So
Beyond your
what
responsibilities,
should
I
I say?
think.
Yeah, responsibilities, and I mean it's a very huge canvas.
Yeah,
And if you go back to, you'll see the human experience. There have been, if you talk about Aristotle, if you talk about Plato, if you talk about Socrates, these people were not only philosophers and thinkers; they were also scientists.
yeah.
So imagine the wide range of possibilities which a human being can do.
Yes,
You talk
exactly.
about Mongo, you talk about, and what we are doing. If you really reflect, we are all, most of us, I'm not saying everybody, but there are people who have very bright, very broad canvas. But most of us, what are we doing? We are happy. We have got a good decent job. We are enjoying our life, taking care of our family, and okay, so probably that is all about being a human. No, that is not about. This is where from your human experience starts. All right.
Yeah, because
And
you,
then, oh,
yeah, tell.
yeah. So all that, experiences and understandings and the dimensions and the perspectives which I get and gain through all these, various dimensions, I try to pen it and I try to involve in my writing. So if you read any of my stories or any of my books, you will get various hues and shades of all these experiences. So it's not always only about the corporate life. It is not only about your success. It is not only about your family and relationship. Somewhere I'll be touching about art, culture, history, mm, about people, so that is
Yeah.
also there.
Actually, I love your insight because this is what I can also resonate as a individual, juggling many things in one go. So it's really like I'm glad someone spoke about it. So for you, the next question will be your upcoming book, The Quiet Cop, has already generated curiosity amongst readers. Could you give us a glimpse into what inspired this new work and what readers can look forward to?
So continuing the discussion which we had, so I was talking about the human experience, and I found, people chase the mirage of success, which I
Yeah,
was talking about. And success is a journey, it's never a destination. You become whatever designation you aspire to, the moment you achieve it, it becomes meaningless for you. And then you aspire for the next one.
yeah,
That's all life is. And what happens in the entire success or so-called rat race, uh, we have to do a lot of compromises and we have to assume personalities, and we have to wear the mask, which actually inside us makes us very, very uncomfortable. So most of us, I'm not saying all of us, but most of
yeah,
us wear masks. So we are
yes,
not what we showcase. We are not what we are perceived to be. We are perceived differently than our real self. So
yes,
this is book is about, if you want peace and if you want to really, so this is next step of my book, Resilience of the Unbreakable Spirit, wherein I take readers to next level. So if you want to have the real human experience, and if you really want to enjoy the human experience, shed your mask. Do not wear mask. And I am sure, because as you were mentioning about yourself, this Gen Z is something which is living life in a natural way. Probably our generation and the generation before my generation was a generation which was, into rat race, and which was more about materialistic achievements.
yeah,
But I'm very happy the Gen Zs, they want to live in a very, very natural way, the way they are. They are least bothered about their designations. They know if they are competent, they will make their own space. And therefore, I think my book should be very, very popular to Gen Z, and popular in the sense popularity is a situation which comes later on. It would add a lot of value to Gen Zs, those who want to explore life in a natural, in a true manner instead of, you know, wearing masks. So it is about all that. So why we wear masks and what are the implications on us, on others, on society if we wear masks, and what if we don't? How does our life change? So this the quiet co is about that only, that your inner self is having co against your outer self. So there is a conflict between inner self and outer self.
Yes,
So this book is about all that conflict.
that's very interesting, and this is something I can, as a Gen Z, relate to very well, as I'm going through a plethora of experiences. And so, thank you so much for joining today. It was wonderful learning about your journey and your book. Listeners, you will get Yogesh book on both Amazon and Flipkart. Stay tuned for more conversations with Ukiyoto authors. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much, Yogesh, for joining.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.